And welcome to a new episode of The Simpsons Did It. I'm your host, Steven Skolansky.
And I'm your co-host, Robert Skolansky.
And we've got some fever. Lottery fever.
Yeah.
But that's not really what this whole episode's about.
I feel like it's like one of those episodes, like you see in like future episodes, I feel like this is kind of the start of it where it starts with one story and ends completely different.
Yeah, but I mean, this story seems like almost the main story because it takes about, maybe like 15 of the 23 minutes of the episode. I
will say this episode, it's pretty good. But have you ever played the lottery? Have you ever bought Powerball tickets or Mega Millions?
all the time. I mean,
how much have you won?
Not much. We'll talk about that when we get into the episode.
Okay.
But the weird part about this episode is the title. So the title of the episode is Dog of Death.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Well, as we go along this episode, I think it'll become apparent why.
Yeah, but the whole episode really isn't about that. And then you're like, oh, lottery, people winning. Okay, there's a point, but it just seems like a weird title for an episode. But to let's start it off. So we're going to be talking about season 3, episode 19, Dog of Death.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. So aired March 12th, 1992.
Yep.
So not quite my birthday, but close enough. Close enough.
Yep.
Short little recap. After lottery fever grips Springfield, the Simpsons discover their dog needs an expensive operation. And I know this all too well.
Yeah.
My dog, currently, it wasn't an operation. It was more of an expensive treatment because he ate several boxes of raisins that, could have literally killed him.
Oh.
And so I know exactly what the Simpsons are going through when you're like, you get a bill and you're like, oh my God, can I afford this? What do I do? And it's so heartbreaking. But we'll get more into that a little bit later.
I was going to say, it was also like our second dog we had where our parents extended his life by spending a lot of money.
Yep. All right. So this week, the entire intro plays. We get The Simpsons all the way to Homer, or I guess Couch Gag.
Couch Gag.
Yep. But we get the entirety. It was something kind of cool this week. We haven't seen it for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to watch this like twice. I haven't seen it in a while. It's like a brand new episode. So the chalkboard this week, I saw nothing unusual in the teacher's lounge.
So that leads me to believe he saw something unusual in the teacher's lounge.
Now,
what did he see?
Principal Skinner and Kerbopple were in the teacher's hall making babies, and one of the babies looked at... No, I don't think that was that episode. But it's possible Bart could have seen teachers going at it in the...
Yeah. My question is, why was he going to the teacher's lounge?
To get some booze. Because we all know they drink in the teacher's lounge.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
they do.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of unusual things possibly that go in a teacher's lounge. Maybe. What was that episode? I feel like a few episodes ago where was it Milhouse thought the teachers were an alien?
Yeah.
And so maybe Bart
thought Kerbopple was an alien.
Oh, Bart. Like, okay. Yeah. So Bart walked into the teacher's lounge with Kerbopple's mask off, and then, he got in trouble. It was like, okay, I'll write. I will not. I did not see anything unusual in the teacher's lounge.
Let's be fair. This is Bart. Even if he wrote that on the chalkboard, he would spread that like wildfire.
Probably. All right. So the couch gag this week. Homer lays on the couch, all restfully and nice, and the rest of his family, sit on him. And again, it was funny at the end. It looks like Homer was like suffocating.
Oh, I'm sure he was. I think Bart was sitting on his face.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was a good one.
I mean, people like to pile on other people while they're sitting on the couch.
I mean, I think we used to pile on our dad when we were kids.
Yeah, seems now maybe not an entire family affair with dog and cat and stuff, but jumping on people on the couch is always fun.
Yes. So this episode opens up with the lottery. We get a commercial for the state lottery for the state that Springfield is in. And we get a guy come in. He's like, I don't need you, Mr. Employer Man. I won the lottery. And the employer guy goes, well, you know what? I won the lottery too. And then we get 2 window cleaners and they come down. We also won the lottery. Everybody wins the lottery. And then they're like, you could win the lottery too. And at the bottom, we get a disclaimer that says the odds of winning the state lottery where Springfield is located is 1 in 380 million. I actually looked it up. The 2 biggest prizes for the states that actually are part of Powerball and Mega Millions. The odds of winning the Mega Millions are 1 in 292 million.
Powerball.
201. Oh, you're right. Powerball. Sorry, I was looking ahead. Powerball is 1 in 292 million, 201,338. And the odds of winning the Mega Millions are 1 in 302 million, 575,350.
Yep, and it's all based on the number of ticket. I mean, there's obviously math that goes into it, but the long and short of it, it's based on the number of people actually buying tickets. No,
it is not. The odds are based on
the numbers
themselves. Because so Mega Millions and Powerball, as we all know, have 6 numbers each. Mega Millions has more numbers because it's lower odds to win. Powerball has less numbers than Mega Millions. So it's based on the odds that you are going to hit those numbers. It's not how many people play. No. You could have 200 million people play. And yes, the odds go up more because more people are playing, but numbers do repeat. I know because in the past, people have had the same 6 numbers, so they've had to split it. So yes, the odds go up significantly higher.
So basically in Springfield then, or the state, I guess the state lottery in the state, apparently that's the only place that this lottery, like Mega Millions and Powerball, is nationwide or semi-nationwide.
I think it's like 38 states.
Yeah. And so Springfield, since they do it all on their own, they must have an inordinate amount of numbers, like 1 through 100 or something. I don't know.
It's crazy.
It seems kind of crazy, but the other thing I wish I would have looked up is, obviously in the commercial, they're saying, oh, we all won the lottery. Now, as we know, multiple people have won the lottery in a single go. So not that the commercial's unusual, but it does not happen all the time. Yeah.
Very, very
But I would like to know, it would be kind of fun to see what is the most. I think I've heard of 7 people winning at one time.
So then we cut back out to Moe's bar, and Moe and Homer and Barney are watching the TV, and Moe exclaims, "Bah, the lottery. Exploiter of the poor and ignorant." And then as he's saying that, we see him light up a neon light that says, "Beer is the answer."
Yep.
I mean, he's not wrong. Beer is good.
At least you know when you're buying beer what you're getting out of it. When you buy a lottery ticket, since the odds are so low of actually winning.
Yes.
I think I'd rather spend, $8 to $10 on a beer than $8 to $10 on lottery tickets.
And not win any money.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then we cut to Barney, and Barney tells Homer that this is a great sequence. I love it. Barney goes, "The jackpot is $130 million." And Homer goes, "Wow, $130 million." Which Barney goes, "Wait, it's $130 million?" That is some short term memory.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was great. And so I looked this up as well. The largest Mega Millions jackpot was $1.537 million. I typed a B. That is wrong. Oh, no, that is right.
Yeah.
That was right because that was a few years ago. That ticket was sold October 23rd, 2018. So 1.537 billion with a B. And that was sold in South Carolina. And only one person won that. So that's a lot of money. They got like $800 million out of that after taxes and all of that.
Yep.
And the largest prize for the Powerball, which was the second largest lottery payout, was Powerball's $1.586 billion jackpot. And that came January 13th, 2016, but that was to multiple tickets.
Yeah.
So that's why it's the second largest payout.
That's why when obviously the number goes up, more people are like, oh, the number's higher playing, so the odds of multiple tickets becomes pretty high.
I usually don't start playing like Powerball or even Mega Millions until it's like $500-600 million.
Yeah, I used to. Well, when it was $1 a ticket, I used to play, pretty often, and I used to do kind of whole Marge's thing with the same numbers.
Yeah,
and then what did it get raised to? Like $2 now, and I'm like, I know it's only $1 more, but I'm like, $2. That's not worth $1. I'll do $1.
And it was crazy during this pandemic, like watching the lottery, like the numbers weren't rising as much because more people were out of work.
Yep.
So the people who are out of work that also played the lottery are like, well, I'm going to cut that out, as we'll see, as we go forward with The Simpsons. I mean, the largest I've ever won off a Powerball was $4.
Yeah.
So is the payout worth it? Probably not. It's still fun to dream, though.
Yeah.
So after Barney and Homer's exchange of $130 million, all of the citizens of Springfield run to the Quickie Mart to buy lottery tickets.
Is that the only place to buy the lottery tickets? Is that the Quickie Mart?
Maybe.
I feel like, do they only have one gas station in town, and that's the Quickie Mart? Well, I guess the Quickie Mart doesn't even have gas yet. They get it in the future, but they don't even have gas yet. So I guess I would like to know where else in Springfield lottery tickets are sold besides the Quickie Mart.
Yeah, that would be nice.
But no, they go completely insane.
Yeah, so Homer also goes to the Quickie Mart, and he calls Bart for the lucky numbers.
Yeah, he's like, Bart, I need some lucky numbers, fast. How old are you? And what's your birthday? I was like, what? He just turned 10 like a couple episodes ago. Again. Come on. It's like, no kidding. Yeah. And Lisa's birthday? What? You don't know your sister's birthday? What kind of brother are you? And I'm like, and I was thinking again, I'm like, but I was thinking again, episode 1 of season 3, Bart knows Lisa's birthday. He got Michael Jackson to sing, or fake Michael Jackson, at least, to sing for his birthday. Come on, Bart.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I like it. It's nice in our family. Like, I have kind of a weird birthday. You have kind of a weird birthday.
No, I have the awesomest birthday ever. It's easy to remember. Exactly.
Ides of March. Yeah, that's why I remember it. I was born on Friday the 13th, and it was also in February, and it was also the day before our grandfather's birthday. So that was easy to remember. Our mom's a leap year baby. The only one that would be hard to remember is our father's, but he was also born in March. So none of us should be forgetting our birthdays.
Yeah.
Although one year our parents did forget my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not happy. It was like 10. It was not cool.
I don't remember that.
So, but here's the thing. The other thing with this quote is Homer doesn't know their birthdays.
Well, he is kind of in a hurry.
Still, he should know.
Well, okay, I would say Bart's age, he should probably know.
Yes.
He just turned 10.
Yes.
The actual date, then, he should probably remember as well.
Correct. So don't give Homer a pass for this. So then we cut to Apu and Sanjay, and Apu has Sanjay make another bank run, and he's like, here, you better wear this bulletproof vest. I mean, I guess, I don't know how much they're selling tickets for, but back in 92, as we alluded to earlier, they were only $1.
Yeah.
So I think like Homer had like, 20 lottery tickets.
Yeah.
So you figure on average, if you have, 10 tickets a person, and I don't know how big I don't know how many people live in Springfield, but there seem to be like 20 to 30 people, and obviously we don't see everybody buying tickets. I don't know, maybe $3,000 total?
Yeah.
$4,000? I don't know. It was a funny gag, don't get me wrong. So then Sanjay asks Apu to promise him he won't sleep with Sanjay's wife if he doesn't make it back, and Apu promises nothing. I promise nothing.
Yep.
Oh, God, that is great. So Homer goes home, and he tells Marge that he bought lottery tickets, and he tells Marge to buy more lottery tickets. But in the background, we see Santa's little helper come in, and he's not looking too good.
Nope.
He's looking very sickly. And Marge asks Homer not to get carried away. And he goes, yes, money. I mean, money.
Yes, honey. I mean, money.
Oh God, that's
well.
great.
We all and we also learned that Marge is like, yeah, I buy one lottery ticket with my numbers, and that's it. Which, I mean, to be fair, if you and I don't know, and I kind of looked it up on Powerball's website because you can look up history, like you can look up the history. And when I had my numbers, like I was like, here's my numbers. This is what I'm going to do every time. And it was kind of not a superstitious thing. But if you think about it, you're like, okay, every lottery drawing, I'm doing these numbers every single time. Yes. Every single time. Because you do realize the one time you don't play your numbers, that's what you're going to get it. So that was kind of my theory. But I looked it up because I wanted to see just the history on my numbers to see if they have ever been drawn before. And there's only been 2 times in the history of the Powerball that the numbers I was choosing actually came up. So I'm like, well,
did those happen? Those happened before or after you could start buying lottery tickets?
Oh, well, after. I mean, I didn't really start buying lottery tickets until I was like in college or after, like during college.
So I guess my second question was, were they drawn after you stopped buying lottery tickets?
Well, no, they were all before. I was looking up the history of them.
I know
to do the tickets. Why would they be already?
Are you still buying lottery tickets? Is my question.
Currently, no. Yes. But when my story existed, when I was telling it, was when I was starting to play those numbers. Did they ever get drawn?
Yeah, gotcha.
All right,
they were twice.
Yes, and so I'm like, all right, well, let's roll with them.
Yeah.
So Santa's little helper, like you said, standing in front of the TV. Homer's like down in front, and then the dog collapses.
Yeah. And like, wouldn't you notice that? Like, I get that you're like really focused on the lottery, but if we were watching TV in the grip of like lottery fever and my dog collapsed, I'd be like, oh, that's not good. I need to take him to the vet. And I would immediately leave. He's like a family member. Screw the lottery. The dog is more important.
Yep.
And you can always look up the numbers later. You don't have to watch. Granted, I suppose this is 92, so the internet wasn't widely available, but I'm sure you could call up the lottery office and be like, hey, what were yesterday's lottery numbers? And they would tell you.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And so we get, the story of the lottery on the news. And, Kent Brockman's telling us all about it. And so during lottery fever here, so first off, we see a man going into the Quickie Mart and he buys a wheelbarrow full of lottery tickets and wanders out of the library and the wind takes them all away. Yes. I don't know why anyone needs that many lottery tickets, but hey, if you have money to blow, go for it.
Theoretically, the more lottery tickets you buy,
the better chance you have.
I mean, it's still super low, but it's like an extra 1%.
Yep. And so the story that Kent Brockman's doing is about the book The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. And he's like, and every copy has been checked out of the library. And he's like, the book does not contain any hints on how to win the lottery. And so the story actually of this book is about a public stoning.
Yes.
All right. So then
I like to also point out in Kent Brockman's story, when he's talking about the lottery, we see a shot of the library, and in the library we see Krusty the Clown's literacy poster.
Yep. Give a hoot. Read a book. Next up, within Lottery Fever, we see that with the education dividend, Skinner wants to buy books that explain how the Korean War came out. Well, it's probably a good idea. And math books that don't have base 6 crap in them. Which I don't know if we ever learned. Did we learn that sort of stuff?
Base 10.
Yeah, base 10. So, that's kind of funny. Yeah, I guess.
Also going back just a skosh, after Kent Brockman tells everybody Shirley Jackson's The Lottery isn't actually.
Oh yeah, Homer actually got the book and then hooked it into the fire because he.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. When a book's bad, he just hucks it in the fire.
Yeah.
And then he also has a site on a detention hall where children are held in place with magnets. And then there's 2 teachers sitting on the couch, just like, again with the magnets.
Why is Principal Skinner obsessed with magnets? Do we ever find out?
He thinks they're neat. I don't know. And so we learn that Homer ends up buying 50 lottery tickets.
Okay.
During all this. And so he kind of has a little daydream. So all the family's like, oh, what are we going to buy with,
You skipped way ahead.
No, I know, but we're just talking about lottery fever here. Well, that's okay. Well, I guess we could talk about that in a minute. So we get, so obviously this goes on. So I guess I don't know timing, but in most lottery, it's Wednesday and Saturday or the
Thursday and Saturday
Thursday.
For the Powerball.
Yeah.
Thursday and Saturday for the Powerball, Tuesday and Friday for Mega Millions.
They must have changed that because I could have sworn at some point it was a Wednesday.
It might have been, but currently it is Tuesday, or it's Thursday and Saturday, Tuesday, Friday.
Shows how much I don't buy lottery tickets anymore.
I also have worked for television for 12 years.
Yeah, I guess
we run the lottery. A lot of stations run the lottery numbers every day. Yeah, and I mean every day because you can buy. I know in Wisconsin there's like pick 3 and pick 4, and those run every day.
Yeah. So for this particular lottery, my guess is it went a few days from when it hit 130 to the actual drawing.
I don't know. I feel like it's the same day.
No, because the headline that shows up, lottery drawing today, which means it at least was the next day.
Okay,
or 2 days. So we see a headline.
Maybe the next day after they find out how much it is.
Well, maybe
I'm going to go the day
days.
After.
I don't know. I mean, I guess we don't get any context on it, but it's at least, I'm sure it's at least a couple days if it's the standard drawings for most lotteries.
Yeah. I do like the sub-headline to that article that read, President and rock star to swap wives.
Yeah, well, were we predicting the show Celebrity Wife Swap?
I don't know when the actual wife swap show came out. I feel like that was mid-90s. But maybe there was a show prior to that about swapping wives?
I've never heard of it. We watched a lot of shows.
Yeah, we did.
So I don't think so, but let's see here. Wife swap. 2004 to 2010 was the original airing.
Oh, well, so this is like 8 years or almost
12
years. So I guess maybe that's a prediction.
Maybe you should stop reading base 6 math books. Because
I did do base 6, didn't I?
You did, yeah. So let's get with the times, Robert. Come on.
Base 6 is the way to go.
So I don't know. Once again, predictions are loosely based, obviously, and things can always happen. But hey, wife swapping wasn't a thing wife swapping was theoretically a thing in the 70s, but
TV
shows, it wasn't a thing. So hey, rock star, president swapping wives,
I feel like that would be a bad idea for the president.
Yeah, probably not a good idea.
Because you don't want your first lady to get killed.
Well, 92, it was
Bush.
Clinton. Or Clinton?
Well, 92 would have still been Bush because Clinton didn't start till 93.
Yeah, so, hey, swapping Barbara? Maybe someone wants some Barbara Bush action.
The question is, who's the rock star? Is it Ozzy Osbourne?
Bret Michaels.
Bret Michaels?
I could see Bret Michaels.
Was Bret Michaels married?
Maybe. I guess we'd have to look it up. All right.
So anyways.
So, Grandpa's with the family watching the drawing because apparently it's a holiday, so you got to take Grandpa out of the home.
Yes.
And, I mean, we could say it's Sunday, but usually drawings aren't on Sundays.
No.
And Sundays was the family day.
So maybe it's a Saturday?
Maybe. I guess I don't know. But Abe's out of the home watching the drawing because, he knows they're not going to win.
Yes.
But he wants to laugh at everyone for not winning.
Correct.
And so we see Santa's little helper not looking good again, and we just see Maggie on the floor poking Santa's little helper's eyeball because Maggie's got to be doing something.
Yeah.
And
also, I think as a baby, you would probably do that if the dog is just kind of lying there. I feel like babies have like the sixth sense of bad things happening.
Maybe. I don't know. But then Homer asks the kids what they plan on doing with their share. Like Homer, okay, maybe I'm an asshole, but if I buy a lottery ticket, it's for me. I'm not splitting up the money.
Well, I guess if I ever win a big jackpot, I ain't giving you any. Because I was going to split it.
Oh. Well, in that case, I'll split it with you.
Okay.
You get 1%.
I mean, if you win like a $500 million drawing, I'll take $5 million.
Exactly, right? Someone would look at it and be like, 1%? What a joke. And then you actually do the math and you're like, oh.
Well, to be fair, it would be like a little over $2.5 million after taxes.
Yeah.
But I'll gladly take $2.5 million.
So 1% is a good round number. Good round number. All right, so Homer asks the kids what they're going to do with their shares, and Bart says, put it in a bank. And
That's
Lisa's
not a bad idea.
Well, no, but it seems weird for a Bart.
Yeah.
After, what was it, the stock episode where Bart was daydreaming about getting like ATVs.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of weird that Bart was like, bank.
The bank.
And I'm like, dude, last time you wanted a bunch of money, you were thinking ATV. And that wasn't even as much money as this. That was only like, and I'm like,
$50,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, somewhere around there. I'm like, okay, whatever. And Lisa's like, give it to the poor. I'm like, okay, Lisa, you get no shares.
Yeah. I would maybe donate some of my winnings if I won the lottery, but ain't no way I'm giving all of my money to the poor.
Just to say
I will donate like $1 million of it, but that's about it. So then I love Homer's response. He is like, you guys don't know kids don't know how to spend money. So
but they weren't even talking about spending the money.
Yeah. Lisa was technically spending the money on the poor. Bart wasn't spending the money though.
No.
And so Bart asks Homer what his plans are. And Homer daydreams about being the biggest man in the world covered in 14 karat gold. Then part of the daydream, he's in the power plant. He goes to Burns' office and he tells Burns to take a hike, with Burns responding, "All hail King Homer." Well, and then we see Homer standing over the city with being bejeweled now in gold and just laughing maniacally. And he's got a crown on.
Yeah. Well, you forgot something during his daydream. He was, the scene was with him in the cafeteria where Lenny was eating a donut. Yes. And giant footsteps head in, and a large shadow falls over him. And Lenny's like, "Hey, Homer, what'd you do? Get a haircut or something?" and Homer stands before him, huge and gold-plated. And Homer's deep, echoey voice like, "Look closer, Lenny." And he's like, "Oh, I know what it is. You're the biggest man in the world now. And you're covered in gold." And Homer's like, 14 karat gold.
It's a great scene. I love it.
All hail King Homer.
I am very curious. I kind of want to email Funko and be like, why haven't you guys made a gold King Homer? Because Funko Pop does like a lot of silver and gold stuff now. So I'm surprised they didn't make King Homer. It can't be that hard.
No. I bet you that could be coming down the line.
I hope so, because I'll buy it. So then we go to the police. So after all that, we come out. Homer's laughing, and they kind of look at him funny.
It's like he didn't actually tell them what he was planning on doing. He literally daydreamed the whole thing. And they're like, "Okay, Homer, I guess."
But you can't tell me you've never done that, where somebody asks you a question, you think about it, and you go, "Yeah, okay," and the other person's like, "You didn't tell me anything."
Well, no, I tell them what I'm thinking.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I forget to actually speak out loud, which is weird for me. Yeah. So then we cut to the police station, and somebody calls the police, and Wickham goes, "You have the wrong number. This is 912."
Yep.
Which I believe is actually going to be a real number now, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. So then we cut to Krusty filming an episode of Krusty the Clown show, and he like pops his head out like, "We'll be right back, kids." And he tells Mel this could be their ticket out of there. And I love how Mel, instead of saying "Yes, Krusty," or "Yes, sir," he honks a horn in agreement.
Yep, because it's Mel,
I suppose.
Well, we really haven't seen Mel talk yet, I don't think.
Not really. I think there was one episode where he had a couple lines, but other than that, no, he really doesn't talk yet. We'll get there.
Yep.
So then we cut back to The Simpsons, and right before we see the first number drawn, we get a back shot of the kitchen where Santa's little helper collapses.
Yep.
So Santa's little helper not doing so good. You know, the Simpsons aren't really paying attention to him. So then we see the first number is drawn, and it's 17. And Homer gets upset because he doesn't have it. And he's about to rip up all of his tickets until Marge tells him to stop and reminds him that they can still get money if they draw 5 numbers, which is true. I believe for both Mega Millions and Powerball, if you hit all 5 numbers and not like their power, like the red ball that they draw, you still get $1 million.
Well, you get money back all the way down to getting 3 right. Like 3 is the starter. So
so if you hit so I know at least Powerball, because this is how I won my $4.
You hit 3 numbers right.
No,
just the Powerball. Yeah,
just the Powerball, you get money back. If you hit 1 plus the Powerball, 2 plus, I think yes, up to 3 without the Powerball, you get money back. But to get money back, prior to that, you still need to hit the Powerball.
Yeah,
you still get money back if you hit just that red ball.
Yep.
So he's like, okay, if we get 5 or 6, we'll still win. Second number is 3, and Homer doesn't have that number either. In 50 tickets, you're telling me? I mean, yes, they probably have like 100 numbers. So he's got 500 regular numbers. You're telling me that 500 regular numbers, he doesn't have one of those 2? I get that the odds are 1 in 500, which is ridiculously low. So maybe not, but
I don't know.
So
I mean, I think I've I think at the max I've maybe when it's a high Powerball, maybe I go with 5 tickets. And I've had a time where I didn't get a single number on any of them.
Well, that's 5 tickets, not 50.
Well, no, but I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah. So then Abe stands up and he's like, I knew we wouldn't win. Homer goes, why didn't you tell me? Why did you keep it a secret? It's like, Homer, that's what odds are.
Abe knows. He's pretty smart.
Knows. So then Homer mocks. So I love how Homer mocks Bart for not drawing 10 or for being 10 and not 17. Like that's Bart's fault.
Because well, technically it's the Simpsons' fault.
Yes.
Because they're not aging him.
Here's my problem with this quote. So he mocks Bart for not being 17, and he says that we could have been rich, but he didn't get 3 either.
Well, the funny thing is we don't. Okay, so what did he do? Okay, so what did he do? Get 50 tickets of all 50 of the same numbers? Like, what did he do? I don't understand.
You can't do that, though. Well, at least in the real life, you can't get the same because you have to have 5 different. Well, it's stupid because there's only one number.
Well, exactly.
You have to match all 5.
No, but I'm just saying he called Bart for some lucky numbers, and he's complaining about. Is he complaining about 1 ticket not having those numbers, or did he take Bart's numbers and put them on all 50 tickets?
Well, even so, he didn't have 3. I mean, I guess if he had 17, maybe he would have had 5 or 6. I don't think you're understanding what I'm saying. Homer is complaining to Bart about not having 17. Yeah.
I'm saying that is just one of his 50 tickets.
Correct.
One of them. What did Homer do for the other 49?
I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. How can Homer complain about that 1 ticket when he bought 50 of them? If Homer bought 1 ticket with the numbers Bart gave him, then okay, it's warranted for the complaint. He bought 50 tickets. So my question to you, again, is did he put those same 6 numbers on all 50 tickets or just on 1?
I don't know. But even if he didn't do it at all 50 tickets, my statement still stands is they didn't hit the number 3. And so even if it's just based off that 1 ticket, they didn't have 3, they didn't have 17. So you would have had 4 of the 6, which I think is still like a $500,000 payout.
Yep. Apparently I wonder just how the lottery works in Springfield, because apparently if you don't win the 130, or 130 or whatever the 5 number deal is, it's completely over.
I don't know. So either way, Bart should not be mocking, or Homer should not be mocking Bart. We do find out the winning numbers are 3, 17, 26, 38, 41, and 49.
Do you think there's someone in the real world that actually plays those numbers consistently week after week? Because
if you do, let us know.
Because of The Simpsons. I'm not saying because you pick these numbers because of some other personal reasons, but I want to know if someone actually plays these specific numbers weekly because they saw it on The Simpsons.
I don't know, but I will say this. It doesn't really matter because your odds. So I usually just do random numbers because your odds of winning if you pick your numbers or if you do it random are exactly the same.
Well, yeah.
So maybe there is. If you know somebody or you are that person who plays these numbers because of this episode, please let us know. And then as Ken's reading off the numbers, he realizes he won the lottery.
Yeah. I wonder if any newscaster or TV personality has ever won the lottery while on air.
Oh, while on air? I don't believe that has happened, but I feel like there's been one, maybe two actual TV people who've won the lottery. I'm not.
Well, I'm like sure.
I'm like 50-50 on whether or not that's actually happened, but because again, the odds are so low. But I can't believe that's ever happened on air yet.
On air, yeah, but I mean, think of it. I mean, look at it like this: every 4 days, or with 2 Mega Millions and Powerball, like 4 of the 7 days of the week, numbers are being drawn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe. But anyway, so I like how Marge is okay with not winning the lottery because they have each other, and Abe then tells the family that their dog is dead, which. Man, after losing the lottery and now your dog is dead,
I wouldn't be happy.
Oh, it's like double blow. And so, and we cut to commercial. The crazy thing is we cut to commercial here.
Yes.
And then we come back and Marge looks at the dog. He's like, Abe, the dog's not dead. It's like, what? It's like, he's wagging his tail. Dogs can wag their tails long after they've been dead. And then he goes on to a rant about, it's like, well, I say the dog is dead and blah, blah, blah. I'm going home.
Yeah. Now, here's the question. Now, here's my question. If anybody who's listening might be a veterinarian and they specifically work with a lot of dogs, because I know with humans, after you die, you can still twitch. Because there's still synapses firing in your brain. So I wonder if that could still be the same with dogs.
Maybe any living creature with a brain. Big enough brain, maybe.
Maybe.
So they take the dog to the Springfield Animal Hospital, and we get a shot of the outside, which looks like a freaking library instead of actual, or a courthouse or something weird. But maybe it's a really nice animal hospital. The statues outside are lions, and one of them has their head bandaged.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool. I mean... Yep. Got to do something classy to make sure you don't know it's a courthouse or public library. Because if it's just regular lions, you're probably thinking it's a government building.
Yeah. And the other lion on the other side has its leg in a sling.
Yeah.
So I don't know how does that work with a lion? If like wouldn't you have to put the lion down? Because I know with like horses, if they can't stand up. Unless this is an old wives' tale, don't they euthanize the horse?
No, there's like 3-legged animals out there. Dude, our zoo had well, I guess it wasn't a leg, it was more of an arm, but I mean, there's 3-legged dogs, 3-legged cats. I mean, there's animals out there that are, that
can survive with 3 legs.
Well, yeah. But as far as a lion goes, I mean, they're more, if it's a zoo lion, then probably if it's a wild lion out in Africa, then it probably will die because, things will get at it. So as the Simpsons walk in on the doctor, why are they just randomly walking into an operating room?
Yep.
He's using shock paddles on a hamster, which I feel like just the shock of the shock paddles would probably kill a hamster.
Well, you can set how much voltage you can use.
Well, yeah, but those things...
those things are... I don't think they make them for animals.
I think they make patches, like the patch style for animals.
That's possible.
But who knows if the technology for that wasn't available in the 90s yet.
Yeah.
So the hamster's dead, and the doctor's like, It's like, this is the worst part of the job. And he grabs a hamster by the foot and hucks it at the wall, and it lands through a basketball hoop.
into the trash.
Right into the trash can.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, you throw away hamsters, you flush goldfish, you bury everything else, right?
Apparently. That's probably a good way to do it. And so the doctor's like, okay, next. And so they look at Santa's little helper, and he's like, well, the problem is your dog has a twisted stomach. And the operation is going to cost $750, which actually is probably relatively inexpensive, at least these days. My dog, not even an operation, just, putting him, like using anesthesia and fluids and all that stuff. It was close to $3,000.
Well, I'll say, when I was put under for my surgery, now
we're not talking about a human. Okay, don't even talk. Well, you're a human. But for dogs, I mean, $3,000 for mine wasn't even a surgery. And so I think just the cost of the anesthesia alone was close to $500. So doing an operation where you're literally cutting into an animal and everything, $750. Hey, I mean, maybe this is a really nice hospital or a really shitty. Maybe it's the Dr. Nick's of veterinarian school for $750. But obviously, The Simpsons, and once again, we always go back to how much do The Simpsons actually make? Because
clearly not enough, because they can't
afford a $750. Well, I mean, how do they afford a mortgage or car payments or anything?
Well, maybe their cars are paid off.
Maybe. It's just so crazy to me that yes, for most people, $750. Yeah, it's a lot of money. But for The Simpsons, and we'll talk about it in a minute, of all the stuff they actually have to, cut back on. I mean, what is their income actually like? We know Marge obviously has zero income.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, Homer does a side job and pulls in a few bucks.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, $750 for the operation. And I was like, well, I guess we're gonna have to talk it over. And Bart's like, talk what over? Mom, talk what over? As they're like walking out of the hospital, because Bart's like, dude, why is this even a discussion? And I think as a 10-year-old, Lisa obviously didn't say anything in that particular scene. But as a kid, especially, 10 to 15, I mean, it's like, in your mind, why is this a discussion? Yeah. Like, why are you even talking about this?
We also don't know how old Santa's little helper is.
Now, yes, and if you're talking about the history-wise, most track dogs retire after 3 to 4 years old.
Okay.
So he's at least that. Now, since The Simpsons, and I'm assuming all Simpsons characters do not age in The Simpsons, I would have to say he stayed 3 or 4 years old, right?
So yeah, what is there to talk about? He's still got I don't know the life expectancy of a greyhound. It's a bigger dog.
I'm guessing it's still 10 to 12 years.
Yeah, so he's got 7 to 9 years left.
Yeah, so why is it a discussion? Bart has a point. Why is this even a discussion? And it's more about money than anything else.
Yes.
And we see in the waiting group, Krusty and Mr. Teeny are at the animal hospital to get more nicotine gum for Mr. Teeny. Now, do you know, because you worked for Target, but maybe at the time you worked for Target, nicotine gum was it over the counter? But I think at some point nicotine gum was
No, when I worked at Target, and even currently, you can buy it right off the shelf.
Oh, I know, but I'm talking about when did it become off the shelf instead of?
Well, when I worked for Shopko way back in the day, while it was still a thing, I believe nicotine gum was over the counter, and that was 2003 when I started there. I don't really know. I was cashier, so I was never really in the pharmacy side.
So I kind of wonder when it went from, because maybe in the 90s it was. I'm guessing in the 90s it had to be prescription.
Possible.
But I wonder when it changed to over the counter. So, but apparently your monkey needs some nicotine gum because
he smokes cigars.
I guess Krusty was trying to get him to quit.
Yeah,
to extend his life. Yeah,
it's not working
because we all know last episode, right? It was last episode. No, maybe.
Are you talking about the one where Marge goes crazy?
Yeah, Homer Alone. 3 episodes ago, we all saw Mr. Teeny smoking. So between then and now, Krusty's like, "All right, you got it. You got to quit." Yeah. And so we also get an animation error. As they're leaving the hospital, they are clearly in Marge's station wagon. But as we see an overhead shot of them driving down the road, the car is pink and looks like Homer's car.
So do they forget? Like, so my question is, when they sent this to the animators, was there a translation error, or are the animators at this point just dumb?
Yeah, I don't know. Or they completely forgot, or I don't know. It seems really odd that we just don't get some. I mean, that's okay as far as continuity goes. 2 minutes of continuity. let's try to stay crisp and clean on that.
I wonder if it's harder to draw the station wagon though, maybe overhead as opposed to like a close-up view.
Maybe, I don't know. It just seems okay. Come on, if you can draw, you can draw. You're on The Simpsons.
You're right. Yeah.
So then we get home and Homer decides to, tell the kids about Doggy Heaven and Doggy Hell. Yeah. And so Homer's like, I want to tell you about the most wonderful place in the world, Doggy Heaven. In Doggy Heaven, there are mountains of bones, and you can't turn around without sniffing another dog's butt. Which, hey, that's a pretty good Doggy Heaven. And Bart's like, is there a Doggy Hell? Well, of course. There could be a heaven with that if there weren't a hell. And Bart's like, well, who's in there? Oh, Hitler's dog. And that dog Nixon had. What's his name? Chester. And Lisa's like, it's Checkers. And Homer's like, yeah, one of those lassies is in there too. The mean one. The one that mauled Jimmy.
I do like the fact that in Doggy Heaven, Old Yeller is there and about 8 lassies.
Yep, and we all know that the TV show Lassie did have to go through a few of them.
Well, I mean, dogs only last so long.
What do you mean? We're on Sparky 18 over at the Como Zoo here. You mean that's not the same Sparky that they started in the 60s?
Yeah. Oh, man, there's a TV show. God, I wish now that we bring up how many like animals there are, it might have been How I Met Your Mother. Maybe not. There's a TV show kind of like similar, but like they keep thinking it's the same dog. There's a live action show and they're like, oh yeah, it's the same. But like it's funny because like you see the dog like changes, like breeds. But like, I think it was How I Met Your Mother because I think it was Barney's dog. And like, he just keeps thinking it's the same dog, but it just changes breed. I could be wrong, but I know there's a show that did that.
Yeah, I don't know.
So Bart is upset after, talking about Doggy Heaven and Doggy Hell. And he's like, darn right I'm upset. And Marge goes, watch your language. And he goes, oh, wait, you actually did watch your language, which is crazy.
That's new for Bart.
It is. And she apologizes to Bart for yelling at him, which rightfully so.
Yep.
So then, they leave the kid. Homer and Marge are still in the kitchen, and Santa's little Homer comes up to Homer and puts his head in his lap and whines at him. And
I Homer's hate when my dog does that. He always wants something.
How can you ignore him? It's so cute.
I know. And Homer gets all upset. He's like, "All right, fine."
Right. So Homer decides it's a good idea to go to Burns for money, which I know he does in. I can't remember if we've covered this episode or not. I mean, we're up to like 54. The episode where Homer gets the hair tonic.
Oh, yeah.
He gets the loan from Burns.
Yep. Well, it wasn't really a loan from Burns. It was a loan from his company.
But Burns was the one that has to sign off on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Homer goes to Burns for money, and he's like, Mr. Burns, I know you're a good man. And Burns is like about to hit the security button when he says that. He's like, okay, well, where is this going? I have a dog. And Burns just furiously hits the security button, and the security comes in, and Homer goes, oh, and security drags him away. And I love how Burns and Smithers are talking, and Burns calls dogs idiots, yet he has the hounds.
Yeah, he's like, Dogs are idiots. Think about it, Smithers. If I came into your house and started sniffing your crotch and slobbering all over your face, what would you say? If you did it,
sir? We all know Smithers was saying yes to that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So then we cut back to the Simpsons household. Homer is reading a book called Canine Surgery. And then Marge is like, Homer, you're not performing the surgery yourself. And he's like, but it looks so easy. It's like carving a turkey. And then we flash back to Thanksgiving. I don't know what Thanksgiving this is. And Homer's got the turkey in one hand, the electric carving knife in another. And he's just like going at it and bits of turkey are flying.
Who uses an electric carver on a turkey?
People who are lazy?
Apparently, I know we, like growing up, we had an electric carver for bread. Yes. Which still seems really lazy to me too. But
but it's easier to cut through the bread then. I don't know.
I mean, I have a bread knife. I'll just use that. It doesn't have to be electronic, man. Come on. So Homer throws that Canine Surgery book in the fire, where the lottery book is still burning, apparently, because It's only been a few days.
Yeah. But wait, it gets better.
Yep. And in the fireplace now, so between Homer must burn a lot of books, because between the lottery and the Canine Surgery book, Homer also threw into the fire Fatherhood by Bill Cosby, which was a book given to Homer in Saturdays of Thunder.
Yep. There's also a fourth book in there. I couldn't make it out.
Yeah. So when did Homer decide he was going to be a bad father? So at some point between
Saturdays of Thunder and now.
Well, no. Between when he threw the lottery book in there and between when he threw the Canine book in there, he threw away two other books, and one of them was the Fatherhood book. So when did he decide to become a bad father in the couple days prior?
Well, Homer is always a bad father. So
he thought maybe, okay, I'm burning books. I'm just going to give up this one too.
Well, and they have a fireplace. You need to keep the fire going, keep warm, which is weird.
Wood's expensive.
We also don't know what season it is. Like outside. Is it fall? Is it winter? We don't see snow on the ground, so I don't think it's winter.
Well, we did learn during Bart the Lover that seasons don't make sense in season 3.
That is true. That is true.
So we have the family sitting around the table, and Marge is, we're going to find a way to, save up for the operation. And Homer asks, is it an insurance scam?
Why?
Well, I don't know so nowadays, like when I was working with Best Buy, I could actually sign up for dog insurance through my work, through my health care provider.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. So I almost wonder when that became a thing. Has it always been a thing? I know the hospital we take our dog to, they have a sign on the dog that says accepts most insurance, company, so I don't know when that became a thing. Obviously, I think it should be. I mean, with the amount of issues that people do have with their animals.
Yeah.
I could probably say 90% of dog owners have had some sort of situation with their dog over the course of their life.
Yeah.
And where they have to drop a good chunk of change. So I think that's probably why these insurance things came out. But I kind of wonder when it started.
Yeah, but I think in this instance with the insurance scam, I think Homer is thinking we pretend the dog is an actual child and take it in and say, oh yeah, our child had an operation. And you send that out to their insurance company, and they go, okay, claim accepted, and they give the money back.
Yep. Maybe. That sounds a little more like Homer.
Yeah.
So Homer has to give up beer. Bart has to get his haircut for free at the Springfield Barber College. Now, I've actually gotten my hair cut it's not at a barber college. If you've ever heard of the Aveda Institute for haircut Aveda, that during college, that's where I got my haircut because it was only like $5 or something because they were teaching people how to cut hair.
Yeah,
and my hair's pretty unique, so I think they kind of like cutting my hair. Just a different standard. But they didn't do a horrible job, unlike Bart's haircut at the Springfield Barber College.
Well, I'll say this much. I spent probably too much money on haircuts because I would just go to cost cutters. Now to be perfectly honest, whenever I go home to visit her parents, I get a haircut when I go there because our childhood barber is still in operation and they always do a fantastic job. And I'm already interested in visiting our parents, so might as well get a haircut. And our mom always gives me money for it. So
yeah. So Marge is going to give up buying her weekly lottery ticket, which in the 90s, once again, if it's $1 for a lottery ticket, a weekly lottery ticket ain't going to save you $750 for,
no, and I feel like, and we don't know. Now, here's the other thing. We don't know if the drawing is once a week or twice a week.
Yeah, I mean, she does say her weekly lottery ticket, but...
Yeah, I mean, even if it's twice a week, that's $2 a week. You're saving, what, $8 a month? Is that really gonna...
I mean, okay, I kind of want to know how much she spends on her blue hair dye. I kind of want to know how much... I want to know how much Marge spends on other things, because if she's making Homer give up beer, which might actually get you the $750 in a week...
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of want to know what.
Well, didn't we have an episode like this in like season 2 where they gave up things?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Marge stopped. I forgot what episode that was.
Yeah, that I don't remember, but it's like, okay, Marge, come on, your lottery ticket.
$1. Because that was the episode where like Lisa balled up all the tiny soaps into one giant soap.
Yep. So
if anybody remembers the name of that episode.
But yeah, so I just think it's funny that, come on, Marge, you're giving up something that's $8 a month where Homer has to give up something that's $5,000 a month. I don't
$5,000? How much beer are you buying?
I don't know. How much beer is Homer buying? We don't know how much he drinks at Moe's every day.
Yep. Stop going to Moe's. Stop drinking beer at home.
Yeah.
You could easily save a few $100. That right there, yeah, as you said, that right there alone would probably save you. Make Homer give up beer for a month, and
1 month. Yeah, 1 month Homer does no beer, and I bet he's good. So
you might even be able to go 2 weeks without beer and save up that $750.
Yeah. So why does Bart have to give up anything, or Marge have to give up anything? And then so Lisa, so Marge is going over, what they're going to do for dinner, and Marge's like, fried chicken night will now be organ meat night. Ham night is spam night. Which,
I know a lot of people who like spam. So
maybe. Pork chop night is now chub night.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
And Homer, chub, is a thick-bodied European river fish with a gray green back and white underparts, and is also a freshwater fish. So I don't know where they're gonna get chub from.
Europe. It might be more expensive just to get it from Europe and than Homer just having pork chop night at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe the grocery store sells it in like sardines come in a can. Maybe this comes in like a can.
Oh,
it's like
canned fish. Oh, I mean, that can't be good for you.
No.
But hey, Marge is trying to save some money.
Yeah.
And then Lisa can't get grocery store encyclopedias anymore.
Yeah.
Why would you want to buy encyclopedias from the grocery store? You might as well use at that point. You might as use Springfield textbooks.
Yeah. Why doesn't she just go to the library?
Yeah, the real library. What is she doing?
I don't know. Because we'll find out. Why doesn't she just go to the library? But apparently the next volume she was going to get was volume 4, Copernicus through Elephantiasis. Whatever elephantiasis is. I don't think she said elephantitis, which is a completely different thing.
No, and that's what I was thinking too. Like when I was listening to it, I was anticipating her saying elephantitis.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it was elephantitis. I guess I don't know. And then as Marge says, Maggie's baby clothes will have to last a little bit longer as Maggie rips her shirt. I think it was on her sleeve or something.
Yeah, on her sleeve, yeah.
And so, I mean, baby clothes
baby clothes are expensive.
Depends. I mean, you could go to like a secondhand shop like we do every once in a while and get them for cheap.
Or you just have your parents or your parent-in-laws buy all your clothes for your kid.
Yeah, or that. But so is Maggie actually growing then? Like, is she?
I don't know if she's growing. Maybe she just wears the same onesie over and over again.
But I would have to imagine that she has to, if she's growing, that means she's aging. I mean, you just can't not grow and not age.
Are you sure about that?
Maybe the Simpsons do it a little bit differently. But yeah, I mean, Maggie's outgrowing her clothes a little bit.
Yep.
And so we cut to the school, and now Miss Hoover wants the class to write a report on Copernicus.
Yep.
Which, yeah.
Oh, you skipped ahead a little bit because the Simpsons went to surgery. Or did I? Yeah, you skipped ahead.
Oh, did I?
Yeah,
I did a little bit.
The Simpsons are waiting for surgery, and I love how the nurse comes out, and the Simpsons are like, and she goes to another owner, and she's like, your Gamecock will be okay, but he will never fight again. And the owner's like, yes, he will.
Like, I feel like cockfighting's illegal.
Maybe not in Springfield. Remember, they're in no man's land.
Yeah.
Also, they're in Utah.
Yeah. Didn't, in the future, well, no, see, I think some rules do apply, because remember the episode where they get Mr. Burns' yacht, they go out into international waters?
By the way, that is a complete and utter myth, and when we get to that episode, I'll talk about it.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, I think they do have some legality things in
Utah.
That
maybe he goes to Nevada to do the cockfighting.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Because they're on the border there, remember?
Yep. And so we kind of pan into the operating room, and Santa's little helper dies on the operating table while they're operating.
Yep.
And we hear a voice inside Santa's little helper's head saying, "Come to the light, boy. That's a good boy. Come to the light." And then he's kind of reversing out away from the light. He's being brought back to life by CPR. So he is a good doctor after all, or a good vet.
I'm pretty sure you can give CPR to pretty much anything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want to give CPR to pretty much anything, but I'm pretty sure you can give CPR to a dog. I'm not 100% sure how that works, but hey.
Yep. And so he's like, the doctor's like, at times like these, I'm glad I flunked out of dental school.
I'm pretty sure he's the Nick Riviera of animal doctors.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because if you're flunking out of dental school, there is no way in hell you are passing veterinarian school.
Nope.
So now we get a title card that says 2 days later, and Santa's little helper is all happy and good to go, and the Simpsons are eating, their dinner, which looks like salad and whatever night it is, and Santa's little helper is eating his dog food, and Homer's like, well, why does he get the good stuff? And Marge is like, well, that's all filled with snouts and end shells. Snouts.
Yeah.
I don't think now I remember when I was a kid, you made me eat dog food.
Well, yeah, I needed someone to try it out.
And to be perfectly honest, as from what I remember as a 5-year-old, it actually wasn't that bad.
No,
if I was in like the apocalypse and all I had to eat was dog food, I'd freaking eat it.
And not like our parents got snouts and entrails type food. They got good. No. They got good, healthy dog food.
Yes. So they're watching Kent Brockman because he apparently didn't quit his job.
Now here's the question though: if you won the lottery, would you quit your job? Or would you quit that job and just get a different job, so that way at least you're working and, you're not working for the money, you're more working for the fun of it?
So probably 130, okay, let's say it's $130 million. I didn't split it with anybody. I kept the money for myself. I've actually looked this up in the past because I was curious. At least for the state of Wisconsin, you get about 53% of the total earnings if you take the lump sum from the lottery. So in this instance,
well, that's dumb. You should always take the monthly.
No, because of inflation, you actually lose money over time.
I've heard it's smarter to take the.
It also depends on how old you are. If you're in like your 20s, you take the year annuity. If you're like our age or even our parents' age, you take the lump sum.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go lump sum. It's about $65 million. I would quit my job. I would start streaming. I would, focus more on,
streaking?
Streaming.
Streaming what?
Video games. Be a streamer.
I think you have to be good at that.
You don't.
You could be horrible at video games to stream.
Hey, man,
I don't know if anyone's going to watch you if you suck at video games.
But here's the thing. They will, because they'll want to see how much I suck. It's a niche. Got to think about it. But I would definitely take some time off. I would definitely quit my job. Because $65 million, I could theoretically, at the age of 34, retire with $65 million.
Maybe. I think I'd like to at least work, and maybe it would be working for a few years at like Best Buy and still cheap out and get all the discounts on everything. So that way I'm not wasting my entire lottery winnings on full priced. Maybe
yes.
This is a good idea. Here's what you do. You get a part-time job at Best Buy. You get a part-time job at Target. And there's got to be like one other industry that's not like those two to get another part-time job. And then you could get a discount at all those places. That way you're never paying full price for groceries, for electronics, and all that stuff.
That's a lot of working, though. You still have to, like, what are you going to work 1 day a week at each job?
Exactly. Like 3 jobs, 1 day a week at each, and party the rest.
So anyways, we find out that Kent gets paid $500,000. He gets paid, his annual salary is $500,000. Why in the world would he buy a lottery ticket? If you're making that much money a year, you don't need to win the lottery. You've already hit the lottery. And for on-air anchors in a lot of markets, now they don't make that quite that much, but like I know our morning meteorologist at my station makes like $65,000-$70,000 a year. And that's not even chief meteorologist. Our chief meteorologist probably makes close to $200,000 a year. I'm not saying that's not wrong. I would just like to be paid a little bit more, because on air people get paid more because they're the face of the TV. But so the school got an eraser.
Yep.
That's all they got. They were supposed to get half of the profits from the lottery, and they got an eraser.
That's an expensive eraser, man. It's not even gold plated.
No, it's like an eraser. And then Skinner goes off about how the government is betraying him. And then we hear him say he served in Vietnam, which we do know he did.
Yep.
But I think this is the first time we've ever heard about Skinner being in Vietnam, isn't it? Is it not? Or is there one other
instance? I think there's one other instance. I think it was it the Bart the Murderer episode, maybe?
Oh, you're right. I think that was the episode.
I think that was the other one, yeah.
So, yep. So, not his first, but we do know he was in the Army, and as we go throughout the series, we learn more about it. So then Kent reads off the new winning lottery numbers, and the numbers are, oddly enough, 2 of them are the 2 from the ones that Homer actually wanted in the first drawing. 3, 6, 17, 18, 22, and 29. 3 and 17 were 2 of the numbers in the first lottery. So that begs the question, well, I guess, the numbers were completely different in the first drawing, but these are Marge's usual numbers.
Yep.
So, Marge, if you were smart, guess what? You would have won, I don't know, the jackpot was like $750,000, because it resets every time somebody wins jack. But still, you would have won a lot of, or maybe it was like 300,000. It was a smaller number compared to the 130 million, but you could have won, Marge, if you were smart.
Yeah, you didn't have to give up your $1 a week habit.
Yep. And then she gets upset at the dog because of the operation, but it's her own fault for not doing math properly.
Yep.
And then as she yells at the dog, we get a shot at Maggie, and her onesie just completely just rips apart, and she's naked.
Yep.
How old is that onesie?
She's probably had it since the day she was born.
Maybe. So then we cut to Lisa's class, and Miss Hoover assigns the class to write a report on Copernicus. And to be fair, I don't think I learned about Copernicus until like high school, not second grade.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is like Lisa's like, oh no, you couldn't go to the library because as we learned in a little bit, she found a third-hand book on Copernicus in the dumpster.
Yeah, I mean, I know Lisa loves to go to the library. I mean, she went to the library in the football episode to do football thing, like looking
and
up
going to the
stuff.
library is free unless you don't return your book in time.
So it's so weird. I don't know why she wouldn't go to the library.
Yeah, I feel like the writers missed the mark with some of this stuff.
I mean, I know they're trying to make jokes and trying to do. I get it, but I mean, you could still do it a right way, and
and we've established Lisa is, smart. Now you could argue the library sold out of all the books at Copernicus, like they rented them all out to kids,
but she didn't even attempt. I mean, there was no.
Yeah, there was no mention of, oh yeah, I went to the library and they were all gone. This is why I went to the dumpster. Like, make those little connections.
Yeah,
that's all I ask. Then we cut to Moe's, where Homer probably shouldn't be, but he is singing "Buffalo Gal, Come Out Tonight" to get money to buy beer.
Yep, and geez, you could. This really is a pinnacle episode to see how much of an alcoholic Homer really is. Yeah. Like, I mean, he's
degrading himself for beer.
Yep.
So Homer ends up leaving because the quarter they threw at him rolled out the door. He goes, "My quarter!" And
that would have bought a beer anyway. Well, maybe Moe was being nice.
Well, either Moe was being nice, or B, he made more money before we actually got to the bar, and it was the quarter he needed to
get that beer.
Yeah, and so a patron asked Moe who that was, and Moe's like, "That used to be my best customer until their dog got sick."
Yep.
Well, we know Homer is an alcoholic. I'm surprised Homer is his best customer, not Barney.
Maybe it's a pretty close.
Yep. And so then we cut to the barber college where Bart is getting a haircut, and the kid cutting his haircut gave him basically a buzz cut with a couple points left.
And he's like, "Mr. Blah Blah, I did it again."
Dude, you should not be in barber college if this, and like with Bart's hair, I feel like that should be an easy cut.
Well, how does he get it cut? Like, it never seems to get long. So how do you even cut spiky hair? Or do you just cut it normally and then spike it with gel afterwards? I don't quite understand.
And isn't there like a few episodes where, when Bart gets his head x-rayed, his head is pointy like
exactly. That? So what are they doing? I don't quite understand Bart's haircut style.
I don't either.
So we cut to the Simpsons home, and now Santa's little helper wants to play. He's like, "Oh, look, I got my energy back. Hey, play with me." Yep. And the Simpsons just don't like him anymore. They're just like, "No, you ruined my life." And, Bart's hair's ruined. Lisa's reading the third-rate Copernicus book.
But to be fair, this is all Marge's fault.
Yeah.
Because she's like, "I got $1 a day," and Homer's spending who knows how much money on beer.
But he wasn't spending money on beer. That's the thing. He was dancing for his beer. Yeah. I mean,
beforehand. I'm saying before all this happened, who knows how much money Homer was spending on beer? Not to mention, I don't know how much their mortgage is. They got 3 kids to feed. This is all Marge's fault. I blame Marge.
Well, I don't know. You still have to have an income. Where's all this money go? Like it just seems so weird. I'm like, okay, we got to make sacrifices, but they seem like such lowly sacrifices. Aside from maybe the beer, everything else seems pretty
and the food
minuscule. I guess the food,
the food as well. But I blame Marge. It's all Marge's fault.
I don't know. I mean,
hate yourself,
are
Marge,
you just are you just saying because of the lottery you're blaming Marge, or for another reason?
Well, she gave up her lottery ticket.
So you're just blaming her because she didn't actually win $750,000? Yes. You can't blame her for that.
I can blame her for not doing the math properly.
She
clearly didn't.
Well, she was just trying to help.
Yeah, giving up $1 is really going to help.
Well, no, but she was still trying to help. I don't think you could blame her for anything.
She could have given up her hair dye. That cost a lot of money.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have Marge's big blue hair.
Too bad. She's got to make a sacrifice.
Yeah, her drawer of blue hair dye.
Exactly. She gave up the wrong thing.
Well, then again, did we ever discuss if it was hair dye or hairspray? Either way, giving that up probably would have been a good idea.
Yes.
And so no one wants to play with Santa's little helper, and he, wanders out the door, and it's like, all right, well, I'm out of here. And so we cut to Marge and Homer sleeping in bed, and Marge asks Homer if the gate to the fence was closed, and he didn't do it because we hear it in the background thumping. He's like, Bart, shut the gate. Lisa, shut the gate. And Lisa's like, Maggie, shut the gate. And then we cut to Maggie, and she is wearing a Crown Royal sack, like the if you ever bought or been to a liquor store for the Crown Royal stuff, they always come in that nice purple
sack
suede bag.
And
Maggie apparently was wearing that, which my guess is Homer was like, went to Mo, was like, Mo, my baby doesn't apparently have another onesie. You mind throwing me one of those Crown Royal bags? It's like, great. Yeah, Homer, I don't even know how to mix drinks anyways. Here, have the bag. And so they wake up the next morning, and Santa's little helper is gone. And, they're shouting for him, calling his name, stuff like that. And was like, oh, I think I see him. No, wait, that's just a horse. I mean, what was it? Lisa's old horse? Did it escape? Is that why he recognized it? I don't know.
Yeah, and I like how Bart blames himself, even though it was really Homer's fault for not close. I'm assuming because Bart was blaming himself for the dog running away.
Yeah, because he wouldn't play with him. I mean, he called him a dumb dog.
But it's really Homer's fault for not actually being responsible and closing the gate.
Yeah, I mean, we do learn of Bart's big connection to Santa's little helper.
Yeah.
And I could see how Bart thinks it is his fault, because he was one, he was the last person that talked to Santa's little helper before he wandered away.
Yep.
And two, yeah, he might have been sleeping and was trying to pass off closing the gate. But yeah, Homer should have really closed the gate.
Yep.
So Santa's little helper's strolling through the forest and, takes a log down the river and fights a bear and apparently saves a baby from a burning cabin.
Yep.
Because we all know that people live in the forest in Springfield.
Clearly.
Apparently. And so the map kind of overshadowing on the map, we see there's a Swolswelder County, which is named
I was really hoping was a real county to pinpoint where the Simpsons live, but alas, it is one of those.
Wait, did you not know that he was a Simpsons writer?
No. I don't.
How do you? He's the one that wrote the episode.
I don't look at that stuff.
Oh my God. How do you not know Simpsons writers? You're banned. You're banned for one episode. And then at the very end, we see, Santa's little helper get to a highway, and we don't see the whole name, but you kind of see part of it, but it's the Michael Jackson Expressway.
Oh, no, you see all of it.
Maybe if you pause it, it goes by really fast.
Well, I paused it.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay. So... it's the Michael Jackson Expressway from when the town. Well, okay, I do love how they changed to the Michael Jackson Expressway. I feel like they would have changed it back to what it was when after finding out that it wasn't the real Michael Jackson.
Yeah, you would think so. Well, it is expensive to
change highway names.
Yeah, because I remember when Wisconsin went from 65 to 70 for the highway, and they had to spend all that money to change all the signs to 70. That costs a lot of money, because you got to print the signs, got to pay people to go out there, change the signs. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
So we get after all of that, we see in the map that Santa's little helper is moving really quickly on it, and that's because he was picked up by the Springfield Dog Pound. And we cut back to the Simpsons, making lost dog posters, and the number they want called is KLS 3457, which is, I'm assuming, their home phone number.
Yep.
So then they're like, Marge is like, oh, Homer, have you picked out a picture for Santa's little helper yet? Or no, Homer asks Marge that, and Marge is like looking at the pictures in a picture book. And so the pictures include Homer kicking the dog, Homer choking the dog then biting Homer on the arm, Santa's little helper burying Homer in the backyard, and the final picture is Santa's Little Helper and Homer boxing.
I would have used that one. That would have been kind of funny.
That is great. So after all that, we cut to Flanders at Burns's mansion talking to Burns about recycling. And
yeah, we all know that Burns does not want to get into recycling yet.
Nope. And so Burns looks down and he goes, "Oh, I see you're wearing your running shoes." And the shoes Flanders is wearing are his assassins from Bart's Dog Gets an F.
Ooh, nice.
I know. I like that. And
sometimes the animators, or maybe it was the writers, who knows, they sometimes do some pretty good pulls.
Yeah, that was a great pull. I love that. So Burns tells Smithers to release the hounds. And so Flanders gets chased away. But then we see one of the hounds is like fat and old. And I love how Smithers says the dog has been there since the late 60s. That dog is dead. That is a zombie dog.
Yeah.
That dog is a zombie.
Yep. Probably.
So,
well, yeah. I mean, obviously it was a joke to how old the dog is, but yeah, I don't think a dog could be around from the 60s.
I think the joke would have landed a slightly better if he had said like
or late 70s, mid 70s, late 70s.
Yeah. Not the 60s.
Yeah.
Because this is 92. It's 32 years. Even if he had him as a puppy, even in 69, even if we go 69, that dog is still 23 years old.
Yep.
I think the oldest living dog ever to have lived was 18.
Maybe. 19? I guess I don't know the.
So then Smithers and Burns are like, all right, we need a new dog to replace this one. And they go to the pound. And the guy showing them around is green.
Yeah, definitely an animation error. And so Burns is like, I'm looking for something in an attack dog. One who likes the sweet gamey tang of human flesh. Why, here's the fellow. Wiry, fast, firm, proud. Proud buttocks. Reminds me of me.
And that dog happens to be Santa's Little Helper, but of course. So after Burns picks out Santa's Little Helper, we see the family posting lost dog signs, and they are shown putting a poster over one of Principal Skinner's that says, "Have you seen my body today?" which is a sign from Bart the Murder. We got a lot of callback stuff in this episode to prior episodes.
I know. This is probably one of the biggest episodes for callbacks.
Like you have Saturdays of Thunder, you have Bart's Dog Gets an F, you have Bart the Murder.
And I think you named crazy. All three, so
yeah.
Good.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, they did a good job though of putting all that in there.
Yeah.
And like the thing is with that "Have you seen my body today" poster, that is one of those where it was quick.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't see what they were doing, because I had to pause it like 4 or 5 times. It was so quick.
Nah, you saw it right away. You didn't have to pause it.
Yeah. So then we cut to Homer, who's like finishing putting up the poster. He's like, done. And you cut to a demolition crew. All right, boys, blow it down. And the posters that Homer put up were on a abandoned building that was getting demolished.
Yeah, I don't think it's smart to put every single poster you have on one giant building.
I also feel like Homer is dumb enough to miss probably the warning signs, because usually when you demolish a building, you own off the area.
Yeah.
So
or should the demolition crew have been looking? Hey, there's a guy, or maybe they're just waiting for him to be done as a joke. He's like, hey, there's that guy putting up all those signs. You know what? Why don't we postpone the demolition till he's done?
Yeah. So we cut back to Burns, and now he's training Santa's Little Helper to be an attack dog, but he's not really good at it because he just like licks Burns.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he was just trying to be all sweet and cuddly and, Santa's Little Helper.
Yep.
And so we, after that, we see Lisa go to Barney's to see if Santa's Little Helper apparently wound up there.
I guess.
And Barney's like, well, maybe he's in my apartment. I'm like, what? You don't know?
Well, did you see his apartment? His apartment is a mess. Barney said he couldn't find his own dog.
Yeah, I know. Oh my God. So I don't know why Lisa was going to Barney's. That seems like kind of weird.
That is weird.
Maybe I could see Lisa going to Flanders, Patty and Selma's. Maybe the old folks home, Reverend Lovejoy. Yeah, Mrs. Glick's, because wasn't it Mrs. Glick's where he wound up in the pool all the time? Yeah. I mean, they could have done some other good, options aside from Barney's. That was just weird. Yeah. Then we cut back to Burns' mansion, and he's training Santa's little helper a little bit different way, and he's connected to a device where his eyelids are open, and he's showing him dogs being mistreated, food explosions, stuff like that, cats. And for those of you that haven't seen it, this is a parody of the rehabilitation process of Alex DeLarge in Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange,
which I have never seen.
Oh, come on, you just can't see movies.
I've wanted to watch it, I just never find a right time to.
Yeah, it's a dark, disturbing movie. But
yes,
good.
It is.
And so Santa's Homer is still really sad that the dog is running away, and Marge reminds Homer about doggy heaven, and he's like, "There's no such place." It's like, and Marge kind of gives a little thing about the kids, like, "Oh wait, actually, it is a place." I'm like, "Come on, Homer,
God.
Come on." And Smithers and Burns are now able to fully train Santa. He's like poka poka poka,
I love
poka
that
poka poka.
I don't know. I used to do that all the time. I don't do that like when I would poke a friend. I was like poka poka poka.
And then Santa's little, it was like point of view of Santa's little helper, which I thought was kind of cool. That was a really cool shot. And then we see Santa's little helper just attack Burns with kind of like black eyes, rage. Yeah, I mean, definitely not your Santa's little helper, but it took some time, and
well, you can train a dog to do anything.
Yeah. And so Lisa's once again hunting around.
Bart.
Oh, that was Bart this time?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yep. So Bart's hunting around town looking for Santa's little helper, and he winds up at apparently Kent Brockman's mansion. Now, I was kind of wondering, was this always Kent Brockman's house, or did he buy it with the lottery winnings?
I mean, if he makes $500,000 a year, I bet you he could have bought it off of his salary alone.
Okay. And so Bart rings the doorbell, and he comes out all tan looking and gold chains and, really important. He's like, have you seen my dog? And he's like, I'm not going to give you charity. If ever since I won the lottery, people come to my house looking for this and that and a new dog. And
Bart didn't even ask for a new dog.
He didn't ask for a new. Yeah, he just wanted to know if he's seen it. And we also learned that Kent Brockman apparently has a llama.
Well, when you got $130 million, you got to buy stupid crap.
Yeah, a llama's a pretty... Now, depending on where you live, and this probably should have been a let me Google it moment, but in the state of Minnesota, you're actually allowed to have llamas, chickens, goats, stuff like that in your yard.
I think the same thing is for Wisconsin, because there's a few people I'm aware of that have chickens at least.
Yeah. So it's possibly not against the law to have a llama at your house.
Yep.
And then Bart, it was like literally like across the street.
Well, maybe it's one of those ritzy neighborhoods where all the rich people have their mansions together.
Yep. And so Bart goes across the street to Burns's mansion.
Yep.
Where he's like rings the doorbell and Smithers walks in. He's doing his longevity treatment because obviously we got to keep Mr. Burns alive.
Yep.
He can't die. And Smithers says, "Oh, little boy is here to see you." He's like, "Where's the hounds?" from inside of it. And so he does. And Bart, as the dogs are running at Bart, he's like, "Ah!" And then he realizes one of the hounds is Santa's little helper. And then it's like, "Hey, boy." And then he realizes at that point Santa's little helper doesn't recognize him and starts running. And I could have sworn, and I'm going to put a pin in this, I thought the border of Burns...
Oh, it had its bushes.
Was bushes. And
maybe he changed it to concrete so people couldn't escape that easily from the house.
Maybe. Let's put a pin in that and see if when we do get shots of Burns' house again, if it's bushes or concrete. Or maybe it's a mixture of both and Bart ran the wrong way or a different way or something like that. Yeah. And as Santa's little helper is attacking Bart, jumping through the air, Bart says, "I love you, boy," which is so sweet. And it kind of just breaks the brainwashing of Santa's little helper, and he lands on him and starts licking him.
Yep. And I thought that was really nice because, Santa's little helper's mind like goes back to all the good times with Bart, and he's like, oh, that's Bart. I'm gonna love him because he's my pal. And so we cut back to the Simpsons household, and they're all petting Santa's little helper because they missed him. And I love how like Homer's like, oh, I want to pet the dog again. And Marge, or he's like, one of them was like, well, you already petted him for like 10 minutes. Yeah. Go pet the cat. Well, what's the point in that?
The cat? What's the point?
Yeah. And I like petting your kitty cat.
Well, I usually only pet him when he comes up to me or lays on my lap. I don't go out of my way to pet the cat because he gets kind of grumpy if you go out of the way and pet him.
Again, what's the point of petting the cat?
Exactly. So Homer's got it right.
Yeah. So then we end the episode with a title card outside of the Simpsons house that says, I love this, no dogs were harmed in the filming of this episode. A cat got sick and somebody shot a duck, but that's it. I don't remember anybody shooting a duck. I don't know whose cat got sick, but
maybe we finally learned that Kerbobble's cat was sick when he was purple.
Oh, maybe
that was it. We remember with Bart of Darkness, we were talking about that. Who has a purple cat? Maybe we learned that Miss Kerbobble's cat was actually sick.
So this episode, it's really good. There's a couple things that stick in my craw. Marge giving up her lottery ticket, Lisa not going to the there's just a few little things here and there that I think don't help this episode. Again, as we stated at the beginning, it's one of those episodes that start with one story and ends with another, which tends to be a feature of The Simpsons moving forward. And it's enjoyable. When I saw the episode title Dog of Death, and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remembered, oh, this is the one where, Santa's little helper gets sick and they have to help him. But
I didn't realize it was the lottery episode too. Yeah. I thought those were two completely different episodes.
Yeah. So it's good. I wish there was a few things they would fix. The animation errors, I think, are funny. I don't think it really hurts the episode. All the callbacks are great. I really want to give this episode a 4 sprinkles. But I'm going to give it a 3. Don't have a cow man. I like it, but not enough to go to that 4 level.
Yeah, same with me. I mean, you kind of hit all the points. I mean, it wasn't great. There were some funny parts. I love the lottery bit, but the whole Santa's little helper, yeah, it's sad. I mean, I have a dog. We've had 2 dogs in our lifetimes that have passed away. So I get it. I get what they were trying to go for. Like, the point of the episode, I get what they were trying to go for. I think execution missed a little bit. Yeah. And I think it could have been a much better episode than it was. Yeah. So I'm going to go with a 3, don't have a cow man as well. All right. So let's close it out with our character profile. And this week we have the veterinarian.
He doesn't have a name?
He doesn't have a name.
He's just the veterinarian.
The veterinarian. And his occupation, saver of sick and injured animals. Except for hamsters.
I was going to say, unless he has to throw a hamster through a basketball hoop into a trash can.
Yep. His personality, intense.
Yeah.
He's very, very intense. Yep. Appearance, dead ringer for Ben Casey. And I don't know who that is or what he was in or what. Let's see. Ben Casey, American medical drama series that aired on ABC from 1961 to 1966.
Well, we know the writers of The Simpsons love their old references.
And it was in black and white. The show was in black and white.
And a little bit of color. I don't know when, but...
Oh, yeah. But yeah, he a little bit. Not 100%, but a little bit.
Yep.
Unconventional quirks. Occasionally poses as an MD. Has a basketball hoop over which a wastebasket in which he tosses dead animals.
Yeah.
He's very sensitive to his dead creatures, and his fees expensive. But once again, unless it was the times, I don't necessarily think $750 is considered expensive. Depending on the surgery, though. I mean, I guess it really comes down a twisted stomach where you have to open up an animal and really do surgery.
Yeah.
I think it'd have to be a couple grand at least.
Well, don't forget, this is 1992.
Yeah, and like I said, I guess I don't know with inflation and cost of things. I guess it would have been more of a on our part. We should have looked it up maybe, but
probably.
I personally, based on the last 11 years with my dog, I don't think $750 is expensive. So
no.
All right, well, let's close it out. We can let everyone know where you can find us. We're on Facebook, The Simpsons Did It podcast, Instagram, Simpsons Did It pod, Twitter, Simpsons Did It PC. Shoot us an email, thesimpsonsdiditpod@gmail.com. And as you guys know, we have stickers. And I'm guessing everyone loves stickers. Yes. So
kids love stickers.
Kids love stickers. So go over to buymeacoffee.com /Simpsons Did It. Give us a little bit of support, if you will. And if you support us, we will help you out by sending you some stickers.
Yep.
So thanks again. Oh, find us on YouTube, Simpsons Did It podcast on YouTube. Search for our channel.
Click like and subscribe so we can get our URL.
Yep. And also, if you guys do have the time, I would like to hear feedback. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but if you are a Apple podcast listener, please give us a rating and just a little bit how we're doing, what you like. Even if you don't like it, let us know what you don't like, because we're always looking to grow. So let's shoot a few more on there, and we'll bring it up on the podcast. We'll let you give your name drop a little bit on the podcast.
Yep.
So until next time, I'm Steven Skolansky.
I'm Robert Skolansky.
And this has been The Simpsons Did It.
Shh.